Erik, and I'm going to talk today about 11 secrets to promoting your blog. I had to look because I'm giving another talk after lunch too, and I had to make sure I was doing where I was. I co-own a company called Professional Blog Service up in Indianapolis, and we are basically content guys for corporate blogs. I've been talking to some designers today and figuring out a little bit more about what it is you guys do. And so whatever you build, we put the furniture inside it. So we're always writing content, and then we're promoting the blogs for other people. So, building their networks, their social networks, pushing their content out to those networks, and basically driving sales for them. So these are the 11 secrets that I have learned over the last few years on how to promote a blog. And so since we got an hour and 20 minutes to go, we'll just jump right in. Secret number one, basically you got to write good shit. And I got that from Jason Falls. I asked him one day, I said, what's your biggest secret? What's the thing you think people should know the most? And he said, write good shit. And so I was at WordCamp Nashville a couple months ago. And that was the first slide I kicked off with. And I noticed that throughout the day, nobody had said a swear word in their presentation. So I think I was one of the first. And I said, if you want to, get Jason in a little bit of trouble, he's a Blog World Expo. So everybody tweeted on. In the next slide, it was, at Jason Falls made Erik say the S word at WordCamp Nash, and he got like 30 of these tweets when he woke up that morning in Vegas, and he sees his at reply was just full, and he said, I don't know what you were doing, but I figured you were up to something. So. But basically the idea is that if you write good stuff, that's going to be your biggest promoter. If you are a good writer, if you have good ideas, if you are able to explain them clearly and succinctly, people will come to you. And the biggest indicator for that is I have done some comparisons between people who write quality stuff, and there are people who they want to write just lots and lots of stuff. Quantity is more important than quality. It doesn't have to be that good. It can have errors in it. The ideas don't have to be that clear. They just need lots and lots of stuff over and over again. When I compare the two writers, the quality writer and the quantity writer is getting about 30,000 visits a month. The quantity writer is getting 13,000 visits. So you tell me who's having better luck. The quality writer is going to win every time because he's writing good stuff. Secret number two is that you need to focus on keywords. This is basically what's telling Google what you do. So you do things like you put keywords in the title. You put them in if you can, the first 4 words of your post. We've got one client that we do that for, and it can make the writing a little bit clunky. We're usually left with things like, owning a Macintosh laptop is a great idea. Or whatever we do to get those first 4 in there, it does make it hard to write for quality. And there are times when we have to sacrifice quality to get those keywords, and other times we sacrifice the keywords because it just ruins the mood of the entire piece. But if you can get it in there, having it in the first 4 is going to be great. If you can't, the first couple of sentences is kind of the farthest out. You should get those keywords in there. The other important thing is that you use only the keywords. If I'm writing about Macintosh laptops, I don't want to start referring to laptops made by Macintosh or Apple or Mac laptops. It has to be that phrase. If you're writing about other things, then use synonymous keywords. But primarily you want to have the exact keyword in the title in those first 4 words. You also want to have those in the anchor text. So if you've got a hyperlink and you're linking to something about Mac laptops, make sure that that is the only thing that you put in there. One of the things that I usually do, and I try to do this less and less, is if I'm referring to a story somewhere else, I will highlight the entire sentence and link to this story. What that tells Google is that this story is about this whole sentence. And so if somebody types in the entire sentence in Google, I'm golden because I win that. But the 1 in a million person who does that, they're not coming to my site that often, so it's not helping me at all. So I really need to focus on those keywords. And then finally, one trick that I learned not too long ago is that the spiders don't know punctuation. So if you're tired of using the keywords over and over again, Macintosh laptop, stick a comma in there, or end the sentence with one keyword and start the next sentence with that second keyword. Google doesn't know that you've punctuated that sentence. All it sees is that you've got those two words together. So that's a great way to kind of declunkify some of your writing. The other thing that you want to try to do is have no more than 2% keyword density. That means for every 100 words that you have no more than 2 keywords. And the easiest way to count that is just to look at your word count on your document. If you're writing in WordPress, or if you're writing, I do a lot of my writing on the word processor for Mac called Pages, and it gives me a word count. So you then count up your keywords and you divide that by the number of words you have in the document or in the post, and that gives you your density. The one problem is that if I use, how many Mac users we have? Do you use Pages? Yeah. The annoying thing about Pages is that it counts all of my HTML code as words. So if I've got the less than and the greater than brackets, those are each a word. And so if I do a lot of my pre-formatting in Pages, it all gets counted as words, and I have to take it to somewhere else to count the actual number of words I used, because otherwise I've got 100 more words than I actually need, according to Pages. So it can be a bit of a pain. Number 3, you write for a clever 12-year-old. That's kind of the rule of newspapers. How many people still read newspapers? A couple of you? How many read print newspapers? Anyone get the Dead Tree edition? 3 of you. How many people read news online? Everybody else? The thing that I learned in journalism way back when we were still hand cranking our newspapers, is that most readers, and they study this kind of thing, most readers will abandon a newspaper story about halfway through. And so the great thing about blogging is that you can reach that halfway point and just stop writing. But with a newspaper, they have to do that. And in order to keep the attention, because we have the attention span of a 12-year-old, as well as a reading level of a 12-year-old as a nation, in order to keep that attention, they had to write at a 6th grade reading level. So, go back and look at a newspaper, go back and look at Newsweek or Time magazine. They're written at that very simple level, not because they think we're dumb, but because it's our mental processing power. We only have so much bandwidth to process everything we read. We're all smart people here. Hey. What's up, man? And so we understand big words. Most of us went to college. We at least finished high school, so we know the big words, and we can read at the high school level, but we really just get bored with reading that kind of stuff. So your readers will let you know if you're boring by leaving your site after they get through the first 3 sentences. So, check your time on site stats and see if you have lots of time or if they're only there for a short while. Believe it or not, the best way to keep them there is to write small words, small sentences, short paragraphs, because people feel like they can consume a lot more and understand it a lot more easily. Number 4, give people what they want. How many people came because the title of the session was 11 Secrets? How many people came because it was about promoting your blog? So a few of you came because it was 11 Secrets. How many people, when they saw that, they thought, 11 Secrets? Man, I could write all those down and I would learn something valuable. How many people thought that? Most of you? That's a blog writer's trick, is we use numbers, we talk about secrets or professional tips or things they don't want you to know. That's, when you look at magazines in the supermarket, they do the same thing. 5 secrets for, a cheaper wardrobe, or, 3 weight loss tips, or whatever. The magazine editors understand that, and they create the articles to make us want to buy that magazine when we're standing in the checkout line. So blog writers know that same thing, and so we do things like 11 secrets to something, 5 tips about this. One of my most popular blog posts in the last couple of years has been 5 grammar myths exploded. And people want to read that, and I chose that title on purpose. One, it was 5, it was a list of 5, it was grammar myths, and we exploded them. And there's just something about, I don't know, something about the online community that if we can stick it to the man somehow, we like that. That's why Reddit is so popular, reddit.com. And so if we can stick it to our English teachers just even a little bit, people love that. I mean, we've had, what, 600 hits or something on that post just over the last 2 years. And it just comes at random times, and we see little spikes. Just somebody retweeted it somewhere else, and a bunch of people followed it. So basically, I have tried to repeat that as much as I can. And since Jason just came in with his son, I won't use the word that we would normally use. But I have made myself available for money now. That's what I do to try to get those readers. I give the people what they want. They want to stick it to the man somehow, and they want to know how many different ways they can do it. And so I write posts about that, and that's how we generate traffic. Keep it short. Keep it really short. I talked a little bit ago about how we've got the attention span of a 6th grader. If we write short blog posts, about 300 words or so, 350 words, people are more likely to read it. You may have some great ideas that you think take 1,000 words to explain, but look at your own reading habits. Do you read 1,000-word blog posts? I mean, how many people read Brian Solis on a daily basis? He writes a book every day. I stopped reading his stuff, not because it's no good, but because I just can't get through the first 300 words before I get bored. And I just, it's like I'm 12 again. I just get antsy, and I just wanted to be somewhere else. And I go through the first 300 words and think, yeah, I got the gist of it, and I leave. And then I don't remember what he even talked about. So if you write a 150-word blog post, that's okay. In fact, that may be better than okay. You may find that if you can give some good, valuable information, people are more likely to read it and retain it than if you write 500 words to explain the same information. Photos and videos. I don't know what it is about photos and videos, but if like I write for the Indiana Department of Tourism. We have a blog called Visit Indiana, and I write for them occasionally. And for whatever reason, I can write a post that has no pictures, and I do okay visit-wise, 40, 50, 60 in a day. If I stick a picture in there, same information, 120, 130. I stick a video in there, even more. For whatever reason, people want to read stuff or at least visit stuff that has photos and videos in it. And so for that blog, for any blog I do, I try to stick a photo in there whenever I can. If it's a photo I took, even better. Otherwise, I can go the paid route and subscribe to some of these like iStock photo images, or even go to Flickr and find the Creative Commons images. If you do that, you have to make sure you give credit to the person who took the photo and link either back to their Flickr site, or if they've got a website they want you to refer to, link back to that. But if you can use Creative Commons photos off of Flickr, that's a great source for free photography. Or Jason, you use, is it iStock?
Shutterstock.
Shutterstock. Jason uses Shutterstock, and that's a subscription service that you can just go find photos that are related to whatever your subject is about. Same thing with videos. So if you can ever take your own photos or your own videos, everybody's got a smartphone just about, so just flip it around and take a video of yourself out somewhere that's related to your topic and post that up there. When you're using photos and videos, I love putting them on Flickr. I especially like Picasa. Picasa is owned by Google, and Flickr is owned by Yahoo. And so I like putting the photos up there. I like putting the videos on YouTube, because then the storage space becomes their problem, not mine. I don't have to pay for extra if I get a lot of people looking at my video off of my server. Instead, it's it's YouTube's problem. So I'm sure as soon as I say that, they're going to see this and shut me down. But that's the best way to do it. One thing I use especially, and I threw this slide in here about 30 minutes ago when I knew Jason was coming, was I use a blog platform called Posterous. And Jason's in here with his son Grant, and that's Grant in front of the tree, so I thought I'd put that in there because I knew you were coming. Thanks for coming, buddy.